Yo, yo. Boy, it's getting cold. All right, do me a favor. If you can hear me, put it in the chat for me. Put in the chat that you can hear me. Please. I'm going to do something real fast. And give me a second. I'm going to go. Where is it? Hold on, y'all. Hold up real fast. I'm gonna go get my people real fast from the Wealth Club. Let me show y'all something. All right. What up, man? What up? What's happening? Man, give me some feedback, man. I guess we gotta click the thumbs up button. I just sent the email out, so give me a quick second real fast. Man, we're gonna get into some things. I'm gonna do a quick screen share with you. I titled this joint Noble Nostradamus. Because it's a retrograde, so what's happening during this retrograde, I'm just using this moment, tapping into this energy, man, really just to go back and I'm going to go in the archives, man, and I'm just going to show you guys some of the most profound information, man. So, you know, there's one thing where I can say, hey, you can create an event, you know what I'm saying, which is dope. Then there's another thing, too, when you could successfully predict time and time again particular things that are going to happen, and I'm going to show you on the world stage. I'm going to show you why, for real, I'm the GOAT. Seriously, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to astro predictions, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, your boy is the absolute GOAT when it comes to this thing, all right? And so, all right, let me see here, man. But y'all gotta thumbs me up, and we gotta get the algorithm kicking. All right, we gotta get the algorithm kicking. Let me go to Zoom with Prince Nakeem. What up? Conscientiously aspiring, dope name, man. What's up, K Money? What up? Lottie Dottie. What up? Rob, what's good? All right, so I know people may be at work, but whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? All right, so let me get to a screen share, because I ain't going to be too long, man. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Hold on, let me go find the file first. Bam. I got some stuff on Trump in here. It's how ill it is. All right, so let's go to a screen share. All right, so you guys should be able to see my screen. I am about to go here. All right, and of course I had a folder on Trump assassination attempts. But man, I got so much data that I don't even have to. I get bored, so I don't have to compile anymore because I got way more than enough to state my case. You know what I'm saying? So once I get to a certain threshold, I just be like, okay, I got enough of that. I'm moving to something else. So, you know, I'll start right here with an earthquake. Now, earthquakes are very interesting. In fact, there's a few things that are very interesting that years ago in my study, I found out that there is a rhythm to massive earthquakes, political or famous deaths, people dying, JFK, Martin Luther King, public massacres like the Boston Marathon bombing, Charleston's church shooting, things like that. Airplane crashes, which are said to be like one out of, and we're going to do that live. Like they say, airplane crash is like 1 out of 11 million. The odds. I done predicted so many of those, like on the goddamn exact day that alone, if that stat is true, gives me the crown on that shit. Just giving you the idea of how precise this knowledge could be. But these things, police shootings as well, these things are all on the same vibratory rhythm. Okay? And when I found it, I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. All right. So let me know. I'm back, man, but let me go back over here to the YouTube. All right. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Put it in the chat for me, man. I know it's a delay. See, this is where we know we babies in humanity, because even from Zoom to YouTube, there's a delay. It's not real time. All right, we back? All right. We back. Prince Nakeem said he can hear me. We good? Somebody else let me know I'm back. We all good? All right, cool. Bet. All right, so let me go back to the Zoom thing and hit the share screen. All right. Where was I at here? I was in one of these pictures. All right. And so anyway, these things are on a pattern. Police killings, these massacres, you know, dude go up in the movies and the Batman joint, everybody out, you know what I'm saying? Political assassinations. These are the things that really stop the world and make the world mourn, like those type of events, right? The 9/11s, you know what I'm saying? Like those are things that are very, 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 very extremely negative and impactful. And I'm telling you, these things have a rhythm. And it's very interesting because in the Supreme Wisdom Lessons of the Nation of Islam, there was, it's in two different sets of questions and lessons that talk about man creates earthquakes and shit. That's in there, right? And I always found that very, 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 very interesting, because then the question becomes, could the negative thoughts that we have actually be the ingredients for the earth to quake? And we don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's look into some things. Back in the day, I used to, this is 2016, I used to alert Google, Microsoft, and Apple. This is how confident I am in this information, and trying to really put them up on game. And I want you today, you're going to serve as witness, okay? So as you can see right here, say Urban Guru, which is my Twitter handle, at Google, at Microsoft, at Apple, be ye forewarned once more. I'm telling them. And so then I dropped the picture in there that says Google, Microsoft, and Apple. According to our Nostradamus formula, the days we are likely to see major acts of nature, such as an earthquake, severe domestic acts of violence, such as school and police shootings, airplane crash, and or the attempt or death of a famous person, will be from November the 16th, 17th, and 18th. I'm going to narrow this thing down to 3 days back to back to back where this portal opens up in a sense, okay? All right. Now, you can see next to my name, it was November the 14th. I posted that on Twitter, okay? Because I told them pretty much in the next 2 days, there's about to start a 3-day cycle, okay? So on November the 14th, I think it was, November the 14th, that same day, later on that day, an earthquake went off in, what is that, Kaikoura, somewhere. I don't even know where that one is. I got to look at my other notes. But a big earthquake had went off, okay? That was November the 14th. Now, I'm not going to see an earthquake on November 14th, then go make the post and tell them. Like, I made it early that day, and then later that day it came, okay? But it came 2 days prior to the timeline that I gave, just 2 days prior to it, okay? They may say, I don't know, bro, you didn't nail it to the head, maybe, you know, what a coincidence at worst, right? Okay, I'll show you something, okay? Because I got tons of these. So here's one of my favorite ones. If you can see the screen, please tell me I can. Oh, yeah, it gets a little distorted, but you can see it. So on Twitter, it was June 19th, and I told Russell Simmons, and I told Snoop Dogg, the next natural disaster, major acts of violence, famous death, airplane crash will be from June 29th to July the 1st. Again, a 3-day window, the 29th, 30th, July 1st, okay? And then what you see here down, you see after my name, it say June 19th, okay? Now, what happened in real life to the left is on June the 30th, which is directly on my 3-day timeline. Now, if you know how I read energy, the first day is the approaching. The second day is the bullseye. The third day is the energy is leaving out, but it's still present. So it's no different than somebody coming up, knocking on the door, the approaching, then knocking on the door is actually the contact, and then walking off. You see what I'm saying? And so 6:30, the day in the middle, was really the dead on bullseye day, okay? So dead on June 30th, a military airplane crashed on in Indonesia. And it actually crashed in the city and on people. That was like the craziest shit I've ever seen, because usually a plane may crash out in the field or some shit, you know what I'm saying? For a plane to crash on a city, like it was crazy. But it's proof right there in the original right here that I told Russell Simmons and Snoop Dogg exactly when it was going to happen. Now, back in this time is 2015, 5 years ago. Why am I telling Russell Simmons and Snoop Dogg? Well, it's hip hop, one. Two, Snoop was going through his spiritual transformation where he was becoming Snoop Lion. And I could rock with that because he was having to shift the consciousness. He didn't got initiated down there in Jamaica. He on his vibes and shit, right? And Russell Simmons, because he's perceived to be the yogi, meditation, zikr beads, and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and start putting something on the record. You know what I mean? And I just chose those two for those two reasons, okay? Now, what about this one? The red arrow you will see is February the 19th on Twitter. And see, the reason I do it on Twitter is because it's timestamped, okay? So I said, for the record, Nostradamus alert, pretty much it's going to be an airplane crash. And I said the dates are going to be from February the 21st, the 22nd, and 23rd. And by the way, J.P. Morgan said it best. Millionaires don't use astrology. Billionaires do. So the shit that I'm coming with is really $1 trillion worth of game. I never forget, you know, I asked people about this stuff, man, white and black, and I was in an Uber with a white guy, and I said, man, what if we had the ability to accurately foretell this, and this? How much would that be worth? And you know what dude said? He said, oh, you can't put a price on something like that. And what I'm showing you, how can you really quantify that? You know what I'm saying? So mute your line if you came on via the email for me, please. But how can you quantify that in dollar amounts when I'm telling you a goddamn airplane gonna crash? And that was a military airplane crash that you saw in Indonesia. So the military ain't even up on this science, right? And so like, and I hopefully I got one in here with NASA ain't even fucking with this, because the NASA rocket Antares crashed on October 28th one year. I remember that. All right. And hopefully I got that one in here and I'll show you and whatnot. So, but how can you quantify that in dollar amounts when it's lives on the line? You can't. You know what I'm saying? So that technically that should push me all the way to the top if it's going to be a dollar amount, a value. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, February 21st to 23rd are the most extreme. Well, on February the 21st, 5 dead, including 4 Americans, after a plane crashes into an Australia mall. This is timestamped. I said it a whole week beforehand on February 19th. Not a week, but 2 days before it happened, February 19th. Because see, remember, right about 2 days before the window, if you notice, the very first one I showed you about the earthquake, I said November 16th, but I came on the 14th and it happened on the 14th, 2 days prior. So now I just want you to see my pattern. Say if you don't give me my credit for the first one that I showed you, cool. I'm showing you a pattern that I'll wait till the energy get here about 2 days, 48 hours beforehand, and then I'll go ahead and I'll put it on the public record. And now when I did it, exactly on the first day that I said it's likely to happen, a goddamn airplane crashes. So like I said real fast, what if we go and we Google what are the odds of a plane crashing? If this is correct, 1 in 5.4 million. Another one said the odds of a plane crashing are 1 in 11 million. Come on, man. I just showed you 2 plane crashes that's supposed to be 1 in 5 or 1 to 11 million chance of that happening, and I got more, okay? All right, so where we at here? So we got that one. All right. So now notice the date on Twitter, red arrow, the short one, is April the 13th. I'm 3 days before the record. And I'm saying pretty much it's going to be the same shit. Airplane crash, severe acts of violence, famous death, massive earthquake, okay? Now, this was funny because on 4/16, because I said it's going to happen between 4/16 and 4/19, North Korea missile test fails. South Korea made a report. And I said, oh, look at this shit. Look at this shit. So, again, the military, in this case, the Korean military, North Korean military, was on some shit doing the timeline. You see what I'm saying? And so again, this is what I'm saying. This information is, I'm telling you, this is next level. This is DJ Khaled call it special cloth talk. This is that Pentagon talk that I'm really showing you. Okay. So all right. So let's move on. Because clear, my man Kim Jong, they ain't on it. So if you look at the very top, I was on Twitter September the 3rd. I told Russell Simmons and Snoop Dogg that it's going to be another plane crash type of shit between September the 5th through the 8th. What happened on September the 9th? That's one day after my timeline. I try to squeeze it down into 3-day pocket, but just one day after my timeline, what happened? British Airways plane catches fire on Las Vegas runway. A plane is on fire at this particular time, okay? So, man, ain't nothing major, but it's something, all right? I don't take that one. So now let's take it back, because now we can get into Alton Sterling, right? Rest in peace. July 13, 2016 is the day I made this. I made the actual. I guess I made the image, but July 2nd, I took to Twitter, and I actually gave them all of July in which these energies was very, very, very erratic. Okay. And what did I put here? Alton Sterling was actually killed on the 5th of July. Okay, you can go look it up. The 5th of July for Alton Sterling. Well, the very first round, I said July 3rd through 5th. I go to Twitter on the 2nd, 3 days before, or in this case, 1 day before the shit's about to pop off. So I said the first wave is from July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You see what my Twitter said? Okay? The 3rd through the 5th, and I specifically say it's going to be a domestic act of violence, okay? Well, in this particular case, Alton Sterling gets murdered by the police, and then there's a big-ass, protest uproar, as we call it, all right? Then Baton Rouge police death. Now, the Baton Rouge police officer actually got killed later, okay? So let me see. I said, from looking at the picture above on July 2nd, both Microsoft and Google were told that July 5th was a day of domestic violence by which the day Alton Sterling was killed by the police. July 17th was the first day in the second report, because you see it right there, 17th through 19th, which the third day, I said, which was the third day Baton Rouge officers were killed. Why didn't the killings happen outside of the timeline given? So I then said that the app proves its accuracy once more. So what I guess what I'm getting to is on July 17th, the police in Baton Rouge were getting killed, okay? And then I literally stated it was going to be a domestic act of violence. So we got the first one to the very exact day, Alton Sterling, and then in the second wave of energy, the police start getting whacked, okay? Because, again, the energy is there, all right? So remember I said this also deals with famous deaths. So Red Arrow, you will see on February the 5th, I took to Twitter, told them the likelihood of what's going to happen. I said from February the 6th through 8th, we can see a famous death. Well, February the 7th, dead on my middle day, and again, I'm coming on the record 2 to 3 days early, okay? February the 7th, we see Richard Hatch, Battlestar Galactica. That's very interesting. The spirit world is funny. Battlestars and stars and shit, galactic and shit. Dies at 71. I told you the likelihood of a famous person dying within 3 days this month is going to be on these days. I'm using the stars, and the goddamn famous person dies based off being in some movie dealing with stars and shit. You see what I'm saying? You can't make this up, all right? So we see that, all right? Chuck Berry, all right? Now, I go on Twitter, March 18th, red arrow. I tell Google, I tell Microsoft, I tell Apple. I tell them there's going to be a famous death. Again, I'm 2 days early, okay? From March 20th to March 23rd. This happened that same day I posted. It came later on that day, March 18th, which is about 2 days early in the timeline. Chuck Berry gets up out of here, but you may say, nigga, you posted that after you seen it. Okay, whatever. All right, so I won't even put those on the record, all right? Okay, let's look at this one. February the 19th, I'm on the record. I just said for the record. Didn't I specifically say in the arrows pointing in the picture, police shootings are likely to happen? Because at this time, I didn't notice a severe domestic act of violence usually translates to the police and pop somebody or somebody popping the police, and it's an interchange with that. You see what I'm saying? So, but the domestic act of violence can happen, but police shootings can also happen as well. So I'm going to add that to the equation. So I specifically said a police shooting can happen between 3 days, the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Well, what happened on February the 20th? Just 1 day prior. But I remember, I'm saying it's about to happen in about 2 days, and then the very next day it happens. On February the 20th, police, known gang members kill Whittier police officer. Okay? So what can happen if law enforcement, the right military, of course, right mindset, had the right information, when to understand that the levels are up right now? You see what I'm saying? Because we don't know. Well, they don't know. All right? All right. So let's look at this one, cop killer. On October the 4th, I'm on Twitter. You see my name, October 4th. I'm telling Google, Apple, Microsoft. I told them that from October the 7th through the 9th, we're likely to see police killings. I see it in the text. Okay? It says the next days we are likely to see big earthquake, domestic acts of severe violence, such as school shootings and police killings. Okay? Now, I'm on the record on October the 4th. I told them the 7th, 8th, and 9th is going to happen. Look what happened on October the 9th. Cop killer suspect John Felix captured alive on scene. So I said a cop killing can happen, but it had already happened, and now the person who did it actually fell directly on the timeline that I said you would see something like this in the world. You see what I'm saying? So now this starts to give you the likelihood of when to catch a perpetrator, right, doing these type of events. You see what I'm saying? And this stuff is great. All right, so December the 9th, I told Jeff Bezos, I told Sundar Pichai, which is the CEO of Microsoft, I told Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. Now, bump me giving it to the company, I'm giving it directly to the CEO in charge now, okay? So Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, I tell them from 12/13 to the 16th, you're going to see the shit that I say. I don't know what happened, but let me see. I don't know what happened on that one, on the 9th. I don't know. I got to find, I got it right here. I just got to go through it. So I don't know what happened on that one, but I'll show you another one. This is April the 13th. For the record, I said something with that same shit. In this case, I got red arrows pointing to severe domestic act of violence from 4/16 to 4/19. And on 4/16, we saw somebody had killed somebody on Facebook. So it was like severe because that shit went, oh my God, that's crazy, right? The whole world starts to look at this shit. So that happened on 4/16, exactly where I said we would see something like that. Fresno killings is, okay, so a gunman goes out and do something, right? That's that same weekend, but I'm on the record on April 13th saying a severe act of domestic violence from 4/16 to 4/19. On 4/19, we see something that's classified as a hate killing. This dude goes out in Fresno, California, and start doing what's called a severe act of domestic violence. When you go out in the public and just start killing people. I'm telling you, these motherfuckers are under a spell of negative radiation, okay? They're under a spell of negative radiation, straight up. And you can't say I'm lying because I didn't prove the goddamn pattern. So when I tell you what it is, you know, maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe I do, but I would think you would want to listen. All right. So let's move into some other stuff, man. How about a massive earthquake, 7.8, that hit it hit Indonesia. Now, I'm on Twitter. It wasn't even a whole day before that. It was almost like I was on like March the 1st. It wasn't even on the 24-hour period yet because, look, when I made the post, it say 22 hours ago. So it, like, you know, you've seen the pattern. I'll come on one day before the shit about to come on, 2 to 3 days before the shit about to come on, right? And so this time, almost 24 hours before I posted, or after I posted rather, a big-ass earthquake came, and I told them it was coming. And I told them that it was going to come from March the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, all right? But it didn't turn into, the 2nd, which is right the day before, the timeline, a big-ass massive earthquake hit. So that's why I put prediction within 24 hours. I went to Google them, and I told them that shit before it happened. And then less than 24 hours later, I'm telling you that shit happened. Okay? Let's see. That's November 2nd. I would have to find where I made the post at. But 2 Iowa police officers killed November 2nd, 2016. Let me see something. November 2nd. No, that's not November. That's my December timeline. And I just got to go find that particular post. All right. Now, this is me on YouTube going way back. Way back. But somewhere on YouTube, I had told them November the 13th, it looked like, November the 13th, I had gave a timeline out that was going to happen. So this was the 2015 joints that I had did. And November 13th, I said it was going to happen. And when November the 13th got here, that's when that big-ass earthquake hit Japan. And you can see I gave 3 timelines, October the 30th through November the 1st, then November 13th through 15th, and again the 26th through 28th. So I had already, if I gave them the timeline, I had to give it to them before October the 30th, because I'm coming on right as, before the October 30th report. But I nailed it and said that second wave, the 13th through the 15th of November, we're going to see some shit. And dead on the 13th, a big-ass earthquake hit, okay? All right, so here go October 16th. I'm telling Microsoft, Google, and Apple that we're going to see an earthquake happen between the 19th and the 21st. Well, let's look at the date. 6.2 magnitude earthquake hits Japan on the 21st, exactly to the day I said it's likely to happen. Okay? See, Nostradamus was on some, it wasn't giving it to you in real time, man. So I can say, you got to wait for that shit to come true. I know niggas who said Barack Obama and Michelle Obama was going to get a divorce and that shit ain't happened. So, like if that shit happened 20 years later, was you right? You know what I'm saying? Like at what point, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, put a timeline on that shit. Put a timeline on. Nostradamus shit is like, oh, when the bear and the eagle meet. And you like, oh shit, that's China and the United States going to be mad at each other in a trade war. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm telling you precisely what and precisely when. The only thing that I don't got is precisely where. And I'm glad I don't. I don't even want to know where, because that shit would drive me crazy if I couldn't do nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? So that's the last piece of the puzzle. But it's going to take technology to figure that shit out. And I got a pretty good idea of how you can figure that out using thermal technology. I'll leave it at that. All right? All right. So famous death, I come on the record, Red Arrow, June 22nd. Famous death. It's going to happen between the 24th, 25th, and 26th of January. Well, on the 25th, dead on my day, Mary Tyler Moore dies. I told you, you're going to see a famous person die. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen right here. Okay? All right. So what is this? A medical helicopter crash. So as you can see my name on Twitter, December the 8th, I told Tim Cook that from the 11th through the 13th, we're going to see a helicopter crash or an airplane crash. Then I told Microsoft, I told Bill Gates, I told Google. And then dead on December the 11th, dead on the day, a helicopter crash in California. You know, Jeff Bezos was in a helicopter accident. Now, what if he was in an accident on the same pattern that I'm seeing, and I'm like, yo, Jeff, not today. Kobe, rest in peace. Not today, bro. Sorry. You can measure that. You can measure that. Now, I know you can say, but what about free will or if it's destined? Listen, what's destined is destined. But, goddammit, you can make some choices within destiny. So if I say, well, shit, if I ain't going to die in a helicopter crash and I'm going to die by something else, right? Let's just say that's locked in stone how I'm going to die. But I don't know how I'm going to die. And if I got some information that says this is the likelihood of an accident by fucking with the helicopter, I'm not going to get on the goddamn helicopter to see if that shit going to come true. I'm going to try my best to fuck the helicopter, not getting on that shit. And what's unbeknownst to me on how I'm going to get up out of here is still unbeknownst to me. But I know one goddamn thing. I'm not getting on the goddamn helicopter when I got some type of science to validate why I shouldn't get my ass on this helicopter. When I say science, a rhythm of events where a motherfucker has accurately foretold, go get your ass on that goddamn helicopter. Okay? All right. Because if it's going to die this way, then it don't matter. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely correct. But the problem is we don't know precisely how you're going to get up out of here in the future. All I know is this right here is potentially highly likely that you'll be getting up out of here right now. So don't do it. Okay? All right. What we got here? Microsoft and Google, that was a medical airplane. Told them about that. 6 missing after small airplane loses contact over Lake Erie. Right? Motherfuckers be disappearing, man. But I told them on December 26th on Twitter, it's going to be something dealing with an airplane on the 27th, 28th, and 29th. One day after, on the 30th, the plane came up missing. So it was just one day after the airplane portal. Told them some shit was going to happen. All right. So then I go back on July 20th. I tell Snoop, I tell Russell Simmons that it's going to be a famous death on the 27th through 30th. All right. So then they clap Taliban's Mullah Omar got clapped on July 29th, dead in the middle of my dates that I gave. You see, my date is July 20th next to my name. So I'm basically giving them a week's notice that, okay, next week, y'all, from the 27th to the 30th, it's going to be like this little 3-day pocket. Watch somebody famous die. Now, at this time, he wasn't a famous person like a star, but he was famous as far as he was a famous gangster. He was rolling with the Taliban. You know what I'm saying? So he got up out of here. All right? I actually got North Korea twice, because you saw earlier when North Korea missile had failed. Now, this is May 11th, and I said, hey, from the 13th through the 15th, we can see some type of domestic act of violence. Well, on the 14th, which is in the middle of my day, North Korea says missile could carry large nuclear warhead. So I'm telling you, when it comes to North Korea, he is on a particular pattern already. This is the second time his ass been popped up. And like I said, I done got to a point where I stopped doing research. So about time, you know, he come in with, you know, I just stopped. You know what I mean? But I can easily go back and put it all together and shit. But anyway, you saw that. And now, you know, like, think about that shit. I'm telling you, a pattern of severe domestic acts of violence can happen. And then this motherfucker come out like, nigga, I got some shit that can carry a nuclear warhead, nigga. Man, okay. All right. You better stop playing. You know why? Because I'm going to tell you something. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, that shit fell within the pattern. I had to go research shit like that in order to figure it out. I went back and did autopsies of all this type of shit, man. That's how, and then I said, what the fuck is the common denominator dealing with this shit? You know what I'm saying? So it's various things that we look at and whatnot, and I was like, oh, shit, here it is. I'm a sucker for patterns. So it's like, bingo, found it, all right? Question is, what can we create in the wave? And I'm about to get real jiggy with it in 21 on some for our personal selves. So on the 19th of February, famous person, I said they're going to check up out of here between the 21st and 23rd. Brenda Butner, she checked out on the 20th, so one day before the timeline, okay? And you got to think about that. I say this shit, and then the next goddamn day the shit happens, but it's one day before the timeline that I gave, all right? We already did that one. New York police officer dead. What's up, Chef Amira? That's you?
That's me.
I see you making some noise. What's up, girl? What's happening?
I'm chilling.
It looks like you on a private plane somewhere.
I'm in my bed.
So, yeah, I see you. I see you with the big old headboard. That's what's up. Just mute your line for me if you got any noise for me, though. But so this one here, I didn't give the tweet, but trust me, I can go find it and shit. So this was like a folder where I was compiling the data and making it. But in all actuality, I swear to God to you, man, I got all that. I got all of it right here. You know what I'm saying? I got so much shit that I ain't even showing y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see. That's the same thing, which is this one right here, as y'all can see. Let me see. It was November the 4th. I just got to find the original tweet within that timeline that I gave. I got a lot of them, man. But I have to go through there. Let's see. All right, what was this? This is dead on the timeline. I'm telling Microsoft, I'm telling Google, I'm telling Apple, yo, it's going to be a police shooting October 19th, 2021. What happened? New York police failed in fatal shooting of a woman, commissioner says. So there was some type of police dealing with shootings, and that shit happened on October the 20th. Dead on the timeline I said it was going to happen. Exactly on the timeline I said it was going to happen, okay? A sister even died. She was a cop. I came out on January the 8th and said, for the record, didn't tag nobody. I said a police shooting's going to happen from January the 9th, 10th, and 11th. January the 9th, they said Officer Clayton made the ultimate sacrifice for the community she cared so deeply about. Clayton was shot and killed in the line of duty. I'm trying to see, the police ain't exempt from this, ladies and gents. They're not. Sometimes they're the part of the problem doing it. They kill somebody, right? And sometimes they getting their ass served. They getting shot on this shit too and killed, right? So here it was, Officer Clayton, rest in peace. She was killed in Florida while on duty. Told you shit was gonna happen. Directly on the first day, I said the likelihood of that shit was gonna happen. And think about that shit. Here I go on January the 8th because I know the portal was coming. I'm like, tomorrow this shit gonna start, and then tomorrow the shit happened like clockwork. See what I'm saying? How about Paris? The Paris attacks, right? 60 killed, right? Let me see. Bold were full tour about the Paris on 10/24 Hip Hop Astrology TV. So when did Paris happen? All right. So it looks like what I'm saying on the tweet is back on 10/24, I had went to YouTube and I had made the video that gave 3 prediction dates. And we saw this slide in another incident. And then I told them November 13th through the 15th, the likelihood of some shit happening, severe domestic acts of violence can happen. And what happened was when November 13th got here, the precise day, the Paris attacks happened. But I had already been on the record on October 24th, giving niggas a whole timeline like, okay, here go the next 3 things that's about to happen, and I'm going to take you into November, okay? And as soon as November got here, it happened, all right? How about another earthquake in Phoenix? I'm on Twitter October 29th, as you can see. I told Snoop, I told Russ. I said from October the 30th through November the 1st, you're going to see an earthquake. And when November 1st got here, okay, we saw a 4.1 hit Metro Phoenix, okay? Told them earthquake was coming. Bam, it happens, okay? We saw that one. Oh, what about the Planned Parenthood? Shit like that. That's the mass murder shit, right? So I probably got to zoom in a little bit. But it's a distorted, but you can see I went to Twitter November the 25th, one day before this shit happened, and I said, Google. Then I hit Snoop and Russell. I hit Microsoft, right? I told them from the 26th to the 28th, it's going to be a domestic act of violence. I said this on the 25th. I said the 26th through 28th. And then when the 27th got here, dead in the middle again, what happened? We saw dude go and Planned Parenthood and kill some people, okay? Man, I'm telling you, I can do this. David Rockefeller, banker and philanthropist, dies at 101. Didn't I say on March 18th, Red Arrow on Twitter? On the 18th, I'm on the record. Hey, Google, Microsoft, Apple. If somebody famous gonna die, they're gonna die on March 20th to the 23rd, and then Rockefeller dies. Now, hold up. I thought this was the Illuminati, man. So you telling me I got the ability to motherfucking know when the Illuminati is likely to be subject and they're gonna check up out of here? That's why I don't buy into that shit. That shit is weak to me, man. It's the corniest shit in the world. B said she couldn't have said that shit better. Y'all niggas corny with that Illuminati mess. It's elementary kindergarten information that gets you to wake up. When you see Illuminati shit, that you're seeing what's called the law of correspondence. And you like, oh shit, damn, dude was in the movie and then that shit happened in real life. That's a ritual. No, that's because you don't know how to put it together no other way, and that's the best logic can give you at that time. That's for you to wake up. That's the coincidence is the primer. The Illuminati is kindergarten primer ABCs for you. It's bigger than that shit. This shit is about cosmic radiation. You got to understand that shit, okay? And how it interfaces with the human psyche. And then how the human psyche start to play out these goddamn events. All right? So anyway, Rockefeller dies, okay? On the day we told him. Are you telling the military what the fuck happening? We telling the police what the fuck is happening? And now Rockefeller, famous motherfuckers checking out when we have, man, come on, man. What about an airplane? I told Snoop and Russell on October 29th. I said, hey, yo, man, from October the 30th, 31st, and November 1st, these 3 days, an airplane gonna crash. And dead on the middle, October 31st, what happened? A Russia plane crashes and 224 people died in that joint. I thought airplane crashes was 1 out of 5.4 million or 1 out of 11 million. How many airplane crashes can I call? Every time that happens, I'm killing them shit. Right? I got to find December 15th. Is that in the timeline somewhere? Let me go back a little bit because I did do December. Did I go? No, I didn't go as far as December. So I got to find the timeline for this dude. Trust me, if I got him, I called it. I just got to find the tweet. because this dude was about to go on the school shooting plot. You see what I'm saying? And this girl was about to go on the school shooting plot too. December 14th. I just gotta find the actual tweets. All right. And here goes somebody in 3 fatal shootings. I don't even think. 2 Seattle police officers shot. Let's see if we got this one. April 13th, I'm on Twitter. I said police shootings in the text. You can see it. I said it's going to happen from 4/16 to 4/19. One day after the timeline, then bam, 2 police officers are shot in Seattle. Now, if you know energy, if you're smart, you just know, like, okay, the timeline is over and it's tomorrow, and we just go back to completely relax. If I give you some game and I'd be like, yo, the likelihood of such and such about to come off, such and such is coming over there to put some work in on you. Like, just because it's one day later don't mean that you ain't hella on point. You gotta, it shit takes time to pass to be like nothing. Okay, a little bit. Now you start to get at ease. But shit, you can't come trying to serve somebody, you know what I mean? And then the next day they gone, you chilling. If you like that, I don't know. Something wrong with you. All right. San Francisco school shooting. Yeah. October 16th. I'm telling Microsoft, Google, Apple, you see it. I said it's going to be a school shooting. I specifically said in the text with the base of the red arrow from October 19th to 21. When October 19th got here, what happened? Suspects on loose in San Francisco in a school shooting. A goddamn school shooting happened. The shit, I'm telling you. Oh, what about Charleston Church shooting? Yeah. June 8th, I went to, and this is kind of, to me, this is kind of more hip hop because it happened in the black church and shit. I went to Twitter and told Russell Simmons and Snoop, hey man, it's going to be a major act of violence from the 15th through the 17th. I think Charleston was what was Charleston? Charleston was y'all, somebody Google that for me. Let me see. I'm using my phone. Hold on, let me see. What was Charleston Church shooting? That was the 17th. Okay? That was the 17th. I told them it was happening. I told them it was going to happen. Okay? So bam, that happens. Now on November 14th, I'm back at it. Ayo, Google, Microsoft, Apple. And then I said, look at this at the base. Police shooting. I told them. It's going to be from November 16th through the 18th. 2 days later, on the 20th, San Antonio officer was shot to death. Okay? So it's 2 days off from the timeline. But hella close. Man, I do this, man. I told Snoop and Russell Simmons from the 27th through the 30th of July. It could be some type of domestic act of violence, right? What happened was on the 29th, university cop was indicted for murder in the shooting of Samuel Du Bois. So the cop happened to fall directly on the timeline. Now, I didn't tell them police shooting, but you've seen it now. This same rhythm deals with police. All right? What about the founder of War Star Hip Hop? Huh? On January 22nd, I said we was going to see a famous death from January the 24th, 25th, and 26th. Soon as the 24th got here, what happened? The founder of War Star Hip Hop dies. Rest in peace. Okay? So it affects the culture. There go to earthquake again, and I think that's where we started. Yep, that's where we started. Okay? So, how about even if I got some shit on Trump, right? Let me see something. Let me see. So I said, according to my observation, that Donald was under the Code Red Advisory from February 15th, 2017 to May 2nd, 2017. And I gave the most extreme days. Now, I'm giving him almost a 3-month window, right? Almost. And then I'm saying May 2nd is extreme. The 20th through the 25th is extreme. And then the 14th through the 18th, I think, is extreme. May the force be with you. Okay? So let's see what pops up. That's an impeachment. All right. A car and bomb claim at White House sets off security alert. That happened on March 19th. Let's go back to the day. Did I not have March the 20th as I almost give you a 2-month outline, and then I narrow it down within those 3 months, like this pocket of 3 days, this pocket of 3 days. In the first pocket of 3 days, as soon as we get there to be on hella alert, was the day that they say some type of car bomb was at the White House. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now, Trump is a billionaire, and I got the motherfucking science on this the time of his life. How much money are we talking, man? If I want to talk money. You understand what I'm saying? But again, you can't even put a price on this kind of shit. Seriously. All right. So I had did a blog back on May 5th, 2016. Will Donald Trump face assassination attempt? And then I gave a timeline within 2016 that says if he wins the presidential election, which is slated for November 8th, 2016, we can see all of the above take place between November the 11th through 15th of December, with November 15th through 17th and December 13th and 15th being extremely dangerous days for the Donald. So for some reason, I got November 15th through 17th highlighted. Let's see. Oh, November 15th. Now, mind you, I wrote this on May 5th. May the 5th, I wrote this. Okay? So when that pocket gets here, what happens? Somebody spray paints on some shit, kill Trump. And it made news on November 14th, the day before I said, if some shit gonna pop off on Trump, man, it's gonna be within this pocket. Now the question could be asked. Now I ain't gonna even ask the question. All right. And this was him getting that Snoop, when Snoop had pulled out the gun on him and you know, they did a rap video and shit like he was shooting Donald Trump or some shit. I gotta go look at the timeline while I put that there. But that was March 15th. Let me see something. That was March 15th. All right, so it happened in March. Because remember I said, man, yo, from March to May, bro, March to May 2nd, you got some shit coming up on you. And so then we saw that, then we saw this, and we saw, well, within that timeline, we definitely saw Snoop shoot him on fucking video. But this is one. Intruder breaches White House grounds, arrested near the residence entrance. This was March 11th. Again, my timeline says, A, beef up security from 2:15 to 5:02, but especially in March, 3/2, 3:20 to 3:25, you definitely got to be on point. But again, I find it ironic that, you know, the grounds got breached in March. Okay? Now check this one out. Man arrested outside of White House after jumping the bike rack. That was March 18th. Okay? March 18th that happened. March 19th was the car bomb. But see, I told them the 20th, starting on the 20th, the shit is getting thick. So they hit him like back to back. Car bomb, bike rack. And that may be it. Yeah. That's it for the Trump joint. All right. And man, I got, like I said, I got plenty of more. Like y'all ain't even see the Boston Marathon bombing. Let me see something. All right. Yeah. So yeah, y'all didn't even see where y'all at. Okay. So yeah, y'all didn't even see the Boston Marathon bombing, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I got some heat. I got some heat. You dig? All right. So tell me what you think. If you want to Zoom with me, you can open up. Let me see something. Let me just go through some of this stuff, man. These are all crashes. These are all even. Let me see. Man, what was that? The DC Navy Yard, my dude went in there and shot that shit up. I got that. You know. These are the earthquake files. David Rockefeller, famous people. Oh shit. I got Nelson Mandela, Hugo Chavez. It fell on the timeline. Man, I got some heat, man. I got some heat. But anyway, man. Anyway. So we all at in the chat, man. What's up, Amina Hassan? Dark Skin Drake, what up? Black Million, what's good? Phil, what's good? Daniel Redbird, what's good? Yeah. Let me check the Zoomy Zoom. We good over here on the Zoom? Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to show y'all for the record, man, what this thing can do. You know what I'm saying? So if you ever heard of it's like when we hear, oh, astrology is a pseudoscience. I don't know what they studying and what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But see, the Neil deGrasse Tysons of the world who try to take astrology and quantify it in astronomical terms, well, you can't do that. You have to study the patterns. Is there a direct correlation? Let me tell you how crazy left-brained some of these guys are, right? Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? He said astrology is pretty much bogus. And his theory of it was he reads a horoscope. How many of that sound like you? Everybody raise their hand. See? I was just reading Sagittarius. And then everybody in the room in the Sagittarius, they think it applies to them. And that's the best that you can do to quantify this shit, to try to act like it don't work. It's bullshit. But here's the crazy part. I heard him say he was on Sway. He said some shit like, do you know when a man and a woman get together and they conceive, whatever the moon phase is at the time of conception, 10 months later, the moon will be in the exact same phase? And I said, nigga, you just did astrology. When you made a correspondence of a planetary body happens to be in the same goddamn phase with human relations, a human event, you just did a correspondence, bro. So if that is true, and it is, if the moon phase can mirror the conception and pregnancy, god damn, that means there's a relationship. I don't get it. Like you tripping if you think it's not a relationship. And then can have the nerve to say that the moon has some type of effect or magnetic pull on the waters on the earth. And one, look at all the water on the earth. One, so if you can affect the waters, it must be having some type of an effect on the human being. And then the human being is said to be composed of majority water. You're not going to tell me, like I've seen it from the gestation period, a pregnancy, and you can clock a woman's menstrual cycle. Ladies, you figure out next time your period starts. Usually if you're on the 28-day cycle, I know some women that's on 24-day cycles and they're not on the lunar cycle. But some women are. So the first day of your menstrual cycle that it starts, go see what the moon was. Go to astro.com if you're on the cell phone, scroll down, click leave mobile view, go to the full desktop view, see the position of the moon. And then the next time you come on it, see if the moon is in the same goddamn constellation and see if it happens. Because I've tracked cycles like this and have been dead on, all right? There's something that's considered to be pseudo known as the 24-day masculine cycle, 28-day feminine cycle, 33-day intellectual cycle. You know what I'm saying? But I do know someone who she was on her cycles every 24 days. She would start. And I know people every 28 days, they would start. Okay? All right. Oh, yeah. Like, shout out to Minister Jew, he in here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we could do a screen share or something, man, on the whatchamajigger, on the Zoom to see how that feature worked. I think, I don't know. Yeah, I got to send you the link. Hold on, bro. Let's play with it for a minute, Jew. And that's another thing, y'all. I'm actually testing the Zoom, as y'all can see, because we plan on pretty much utilizing this particular service, man. Bam. All right, check your email, Jew, and then hit that link. Then I'll see you when you come in, and then I'm gonna see if we can do something, man. Well, shit, when you start talking, you'll just be on the screen and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, he made a good point. Hopefully, he can get on here and make that point. You know what I'm saying? Neil deGrasse Tyson gets in trouble for some type of sexual allegation against a woman wanting to go up her goddamn skirt, talking about, yeah, baby, yeah, you're gonna let me see where Pluto at, nigga. Wait, hold on. Yo, this is crazy. Wait a minute, nigga. Hold on, nigga. Hold on. I gotta get you, Uncle Neil. I gotta get your ass, bro. I gotta get you, because we're going to go look at some keywords of Pluto. Now, I ain't write this shit down. I ain't make it up. And the whole goddamn astrological community totally understands what motherfucking Pluto is. Ladies and gentlemen, in this column right here, it says, the four words down, it says sex, okay? Pluto is considered the ruler of Scorpio in the 8th house, and this is the region of space that deals with our sexual energies. So you mean to tell me, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astronomer who thinks astrology is bogus, you trying to get up a young lady's skirt, and you're using Pluto as your mouthpiece, as your game, to try to get to the nookie. The same planet that rules motherfucking sex and secrets, nigga, because you didn't want that shit to come out, trust me, right? Especially married man, okay? Soon to get married, I think so, all right? So, nah, man, I ain't going. I can't do it, man. Can't do it, you know what I'm saying? So that's some BS, man. That's some bona fide BS, but it's real. It's just real like that. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyways, you know, give it to me in the chat, man. If you got a question or something, whatever it may be, before we wrap it up. All right, Devin, I got you. I see you. I got you, bro. I got you. Chef, what's going on in your world?
What is going on in my world? I'm still healing, but I'm good. Back in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I am focusing on my digital products now. I actually just am pre-selling my ebook and still traveling. I'm making up for all the time I couldn't travel at the beginning of the year because of my accident and all of what's going on. And so, yeah, so that's what's going on in my world. And real estate's coming up. But there's some other things that I'm building out some other additional incomes so that I can really focus on that. Because at the end of the day, what I want is freedom. And that comes regardless. I have an amazing client. Like, I don't have to be there all the time, but I still don't have the option to be like, you know what, for like the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna go chill in Mexico, and I don't have that luxury yet.
Okay. I got you.
And so I did have a question. I wanted to know, and you don't have to go over every one, like when you do these predictions, like what is the alignment to where you're like, okay, and because I know each thing has, between the house and what, depending upon like the angle that it's at, that's how you're giving the alignment. But I would love for you to give an example if you could.
I can't. What's the best? It's codified, man. That's the sauce right there.
Okay.
That's chef's secret recipe.
I understand.
I got you from mouth to ear. I got you.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's from mouth to ear. It's waves of energy, though, for sure. It's waves of energy. And as you can see, it's a monthly phenomenon as well. You know what I'm saying? So I got you.
Do you have any election predictions?
No, I don't. So me and Jew was looking at some basic stuff. We didn't pull up nobody's chart or anything. Mm-hmm. I think we looked at the fact of Uranus and Taurus, which, that's going to be there for a little minute. We looked at Saturn and Aquarius. And it looks like the environment says Trump wins because it's potentially chaotic. Very, very potentially chaotic, and something about the financial system changes as well, which we're starting to see with the whole technology shit and Bitcoin and things of that nature. So it looked like it had a Trump atmosphere to it, because with the Biden election, people feel like they won and they go right back to sleep. They're not as agitated because they feel like they got a victory. Unless, which is very highly likely, more police killings happen to Black people that starts to, because this year was the year where it was like, no, we ain't taking it no more. Like this was like an apex year and whatnot of the issue at hand, which is, let's just say, the whole equality justice thing is reaching a boiling point where this whole thing can come crumbling down. Like you're just now getting to a part in history where my name is Ice Cube and here's the Black American plan. Okay, come to the White House, let's talk about it before the election. You know what I mean? We got to do something. Like we're just now getting to that point, so it's a bubbling point. You see what I'm saying? And so we haven't done one to say who will, but it looked like Trump. But here's the matter. Here's the thing where we're in the quantum thing of it. The Biden-Harris team, Democratic team, they're doing things to erode the old structural norm anyway. And I don't care if it's gay marriages happening under Obama and the Supreme Court ruled in their favor. There's nothing wrong with the gay marriage. My point is, it's eroding the old status quo. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you'll start to see things like, oh no, I'm a male, but I classify myself as a woman, so when I go to the prison, I'm going to girl jail because I'm classifying myself as a woman right now. So you start to see, you start to see this gender swapping, and the rules are conforming to this, which now means the old structure is starting to give way to the more liberal sense of do whatever you want to do, when you want to do it, you know what I'm saying, how you want to do it, we don't care. You know, men can go in the bathroom with your little girls and pee if they say they're a woman, right? We just starting to see it. So that happens under them. But then under Trump, it's the agitation. Like, you know, it was on Instagram when somebody had a MAGA hat on, but you had to click on it. And when you click on it, it was like, how I made you look. Make something great again. But it's like made you look again something. And I'm like, yo, like Trump has inspired so many people to remix the MAGA hat. And it's out of that agitation. And so, you know, more agitation is going to produce the change. So either way it goes, we win. And that's the place that you want to be at. I always say, that's why when I teach the spiritual sciences, when you understand light has duality, a positive pole, negative pole, and you have to be in the middle as God. And in the tree of life, you got the left pillar, the right pillar, and the middle pillar is said to be the straight path of God. So you got to be the light within and not sway. You know what I'm saying? Or if you do sway, understand why you swaying, because you want to sway to your particular goal to get your objective done, but not be in limbo as in you don't know what's happening. Because either way it goes, it's all for the better of humanity any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? No matter how ugly it is. You know what I mean? But to will it back, to me it did look like the atmosphere suggested more agitation and shit. But perhaps maybe Trump won't leave because he feel like he got defrauded, and he issues some type of executive order that comes out, and now this shit is about to get on some gangster shit. So when he tell the Proud Boys stand down and stand by, that shit becomes reality now. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I was defrauded. You know what I mean? And when you look at the election, well, we got Mars and Aries. And then you got Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter, all that shit's in Capricorn, squaring Mars, the dude with the pistol. Nah, I'm cool. I don't want to be nowhere around that shit. I'll be on the mountaintops nowhere with my bunker observing this shit, you know what I'm saying? Because that's an assassination / murder and violence ready to take place. And Capricorn is public, so this could be public massacre. This can be very freaking bloody, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't know, man. This shit looks nasty. It looks nasty.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what everybody. I mean, just from tapping in, just to the energy, that's what a lot of people are already swaying towards. I mean, I don't vote, so you know, I stay in. Either way, I win, and I see how things can potentially go either way.
Yeah. All day, man. I hope Trump wins, though. I'm say it, though.
Yeah, I will say, well, that, yes. One thing I do when and I've never even been for Biden, I just can't, for me, it doesn't even make sense. Like if you're fighting against the system, and he actually put laws in to help create that. So that just makes no sense to me. But what he did say was that if he did win, that he was going to lock the country down and for the immunizations. I was like, oh, hold up a minute. Hold up. No, we're not going that route. So for me, that's what I looked at. I was like that, and it just depends upon, you know, like there's so many factors at play. Like, you know, we know that at the end of the day, what I do as focus on is I can focus on my book. I can focus on those things, and I can focus on, you know, that's really what I can do. And I'm not going to give my power over to anybody, but you know, I've looked at those factors and I said, it just actually has made me even focus more on, okay, great. It's really time for this book that I've been talking about for years. So let me actually get writing it.
Yeah. Yep. Take advantage, man. Take advantage. Hey, man, listen, for me, when we was talking to, who was I talking to? Talking to Nikki. And we was like, man, 2020 has been like the most phenomenal year ever personally. Like this has been, it's been my best year. This has been like amazing. It was like, yo, 2020 is like the litmus test to check to see, you know, what did you do to adapt, and did you even get ahead and come out on top. You know what I'm saying? And it's a joke to me, but, you know, I know a lot of people around me who started doing better, you know what I mean, in their lives within this particular time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, at the office, I just be like, you know, nigga, you owe Trump. Nigga, you're a realtor. You just got your realtor's license. Nigga, you owe Trump, the real estate president. You making the most money you ever made under this timeline. Nigga, you got to ride the wave. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I ain't want Trump. You know what I mean? Just be funny and whatnot. But the wave that has come with this, I love it. And I'm such a rebel. I know he agitates you, so I'll vote for him because he agitates you to get you to keep producing the American plan. Now, seriously, because see, if it wasn't for him, would Ice Cube have produced this plan right now? It probably wouldn't have came at this moment. Yeah. So it takes agitation and friction to do that. So this dude does that. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and I ain't said it, but fuck it, since we're on the subject matter, I'm going to tell y'all something. Since the election of Trump, all the shit that I have shown you guys, he has totally changed / damn near completely nullified and canceled the events that has been taking place. A lot of that shit was under the Obama watch that I was naming. That shit wasn't up under Trump like that. All right, so I'm telling you, this dude has now, and it makes sense, because the conscious observation of the people's mind have now been fixated to one person. And so therefore, he is like the physical embodiment of all of that nasty shit that was happening and shit. But that shit don't happen like that. And it was somewhere where when Obama was in office, he said some shit like, man, this is strange. It seemed like this is a reoccurring pattern or some shit. And I said, oh shit, he's starting to wake up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, Wallahi was fun. Since the election of Donald Trump has come, this man has been a shield from the negative radiations that have been coming through, creating these, what appears to be these random external events. But he's the embodiment of the radiation. Therefore, the people, as you can see, oh, he's racist, and he bears that shit, man. So, truthfully be told, he's almost like, and I hate to say it, but it is in his own way. But you got to understand what the fuck I'm saying to deal with this. He's like a cosmic Christ that has taken a big ass sacrifice to understand this shit. Because I'm telling you, when he went in and Obama was in, you was getting rocked. And I got all the predictions to show you humanity was getting rocked with random events. Okay? So it'll be interesting. But the people can't take it though. Me and Juice sit back and we ask, we like, man, can people deal with another 4 more years of Trump? Motherfuckers will go crazy. They go crazy. Like it's one of those situations where you be like, come on, Trump, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Just come on out, man. People don't like you, man. Just come on, man. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if they can handle it. You know what I mean? Really don't. You know?
Yeah, I don't know if they can either. Although I'm cool. I'm like, I have no problem actually.
Right. That's dope, man. That's dope. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no doubt. L Bulky, man, that's a good ass question, man. What side of the brain aids and manifesting? Both. I got some stuff that's coming to the Family Well Club. I was just sharing it with you, and I sent out an MP3 this morning. Both. We got an exercise that we about to do. My visualization game about to go crazy in 2021. Like to back up a little bit, since the inception of the Wealth Club, I've been 100% left brain. Budget sheet, real estate numbers, a workbook on how to deal with deals that started to implement a little bit of art and, pictures and shit so we can learn how to fill in the numbers and shit. But it's been a left brain linear approach when you're dealing with money and whatnot. This go around in this retrograde, You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, all right. Now that I got the base down and I know how to accumulate deals, and that's my zone. Now I'm reaching back and bringing the visual spiritual component over to it. So that's a good question that you asked on what part of the brain deals with it. It's both hemispheres. But, you know, if you do a simple Google search, you're going to see, you know, the basic knowledge is the right hemisphere is imagery, the left hemisphere is more logic and linear processing and whatnot. But we got something, in fact, I got a flyer coming for it called the corpus callosum, dealing with the complete manifesting of the brain, because we're going to do an exercise where we're going to deal with these hemispheres and whatnot, and we're going to strengthen the connection between the two. So there's literally a fiber road that connects the left to the right, corpus callosum, also known as tough body, you know what I'm saying, that connects that. So then we need to be doing particular exercises, knowing the correct function of the brain, and then using that to strengthen this particular road. So, man, I got it all written down right here. I told you this morning, I was like, bro, I done zoned out last night, and it hit me and whatnot, because it's one of them zones where shit start happening. And like what's happening right now is like my oven turns on by itself and it's off, and it's turning on and off by itself. And I'm like, okay, all right, the light, okay, nigga, go back. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we got some things coming up. In fact, this Saturday, it's Wealth Club only though. It's Prosperity 6 Days of Creation. We're going to deal with that Bible. The Bible is a book of manifesting predicated upon what aspect of consciousness you are personifying at the time. But anyway, the Prosperity 6 Days of Creation is coming. The magnetic field is coming. The boardroom is coming. The matrix is coming. That's going to be dope. The golden bridge is coming. The cosmic hologram is going to be dope. Magnetic field trips. The corpus callosum I just told you is next month. Iron Man is coming. Jesus at the door is coming. The King and Queen's Chamber. Ooh, shit. Buddy. I already told y'all the other day that the pyramids represent the pyramidal cells. That was on that video on here called The Egyptian Mysteries. But you remember, you had a Queen's Chamber that sits directly in the middle of the pyramid, and then you had the King's Chamber that's a little bit over to the left. And so we're going to deal with the chambers of the pyramid, but also understanding that you got pyramidal cells in your brain as it comes to manifesting. We're going to deal with something called Jupiter Jack and whatnot, and then we're going to do the battle rope. All right. And the battle rope is really a physical daily exercise because we need to whip the body in shape with the mind. And I agree with Tony Robbins 1,000%. It just ain't about the mind. You gotta put energy into the body as well. So the battle rope, you know, when you hold the two ropes and you working out and shit, but there needs to be a specific imagery that actually holds the actual rope. So when you do this physical exercise at your leisure and shit, there's an image and energy that's emanating from your body that's actually going through the rope itself, going to this projected specific target in alignment with a cosmic body that I got going on for you that's more of a portal. So again, see, remember, if I can show you the portal, right, I can do it personally too, right? So, you know, like you heard Chef mention, like she's recovering from an accident. But Chef is so busy, she didn't get my email notification where I was like, ooh, shit, you cold red, back up a little bit, be easy, be careful. She busy, you know what I'm saying? But that timeline came, and lack of a better word, unfortunately, she was in an accident at that particular time. So we can tell you this personally, we can tell you this globally, right? So now we have to be able to take this same energy, these same pockets, and be able to say, you know what? Let's create off of it. The hardest part to this shit is our dedication and consistency to the practice, and not just the practice, the positive feeling that must be generated from the practice day in and day out is the biggest part of the struggle. All right? I know it, I live it, I'm human, you know what I'm saying? But that be the biggest obstacle that we have and shit. It ain't the science of the cosmos, it ain't the time of the event, it's the consistency of our practice, you know what I'm saying? And so we got all these things coming, man, and we're going to do that. That's right, Dr. Drew, shout out. If you ever see Drew on his live, he created his personal Mount Rushmore of consciousness, you know what I'm saying, which got 4 people on it, you know what I'm saying? And so it's what, Bobby Hemmett's on it, Minister Drew's on it, Dr. Drew Pulcrum is on there, and I'm on there as well, you know what I'm saying? And that's his favorite Mount Rushmore of consciousness. So big shout out to Dr. Drew Pulcrum for bringing the neuroscience to the collective consciousness so we can get it. Big shout out to Bobby for giving us pretty much the quantum talk of going to the spirit world and really think outside the goddamn box and shit. I'm going to say something that's really clear. You just need to know this shit. There's a lot of good schools of thoughts. Then some of them are great for a certain period of time. And then if you don't make the graduation point, then it can retard you, literally. It can retard you and it actually can start to create issues if you don't progress and go forward, right? You can't stay on breast milk forever. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is Bobby Hemmett teachings, if you listen, they are not the same as Phil Valentine's teaching. Those are 2 diametrically opposing messages. And what happens is you rocking with both, and it's like, you can't necessarily make an agreement to both of them per se, as far as a commitment, because the messages is different. So I'll never forget who was that, but it was like, you know, when you get on this path, you gotta marry yourself. You're in this class, you don't do the Western way of school. The Western way of school is 30 minutes in this class, you get interrupted, then you go to a completely different another subject matter and shit. And then it was totally opposed to this one, and it makes you scramble. You got to treat this shit like a specialty. And you say, listen, I got 11 months, 12 months lined up. Jew got 11, 12 months lined up. Full of shit that as soon as you come in is this. Next month is this. Next month you get this. Next month you get this. Like you got to dedicate yourself to it, right? And then once you dedicate it and get what you got, then, okay, finish, you got it, digest it, learn how to apply the shit, right? Cool, go about your life. And then you may go into different schools and whatnot. But I'm telling you, you have to be able to prioritize and understand the levels of this shit, man. I'm telling you. It'll save you time. It will save you time. You know what I'm saying? if you understand this shit. All right? Somebody had something in the chat, and I forgot, where was it at? Oh, yeah. You're right, Ricky. Yeah, so I did a video on Tekashi 6ix9ine and gave the timeline. It's here on this channel. I had gave the timeline and specifically said the timeline where he had RICO charges coming. And he got hit with RICO charges directly on the timeline. Now, anybody can be like, I can see that. Yeah, it was definitely obvious, but what wasn't obvious is the precise time that it would happen. You know what I'm saying? And we nailed that one as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got some shit, man, like Rick Ross and shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember Jew told 50 Cent he'd be departing with some money, then the nigga ended up having to file for bankruptcy or some shit. Rick Ross was going to be in trouble dealing with the law, and then next thing you know, he allegedly got charged for kidnapping somebody and shit. Then I told Rick Ross one year, be careful. And then at his birthday party, they pulled up on the side of him when he left his car, and they started shooting at him and shit, and shot the car up, and he wrecked the car. Could have killed the man. You know what I'm saying? So I told him, like, before that shit happened, nigga, this timeline right here, it's going to be rough, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we can use this science, man, on a whole nother level, though, for real. And that's the fun part for me. So be on the lookout for it, man. You know, for those of you that's in the Wealth Club, be on the lookout for it. So, but El Boki, your question is both. Consistency. Feeling good.
Hey, no balls. Yo, yo.
Yo, what up, man? We man, you on Zoom?
Yeah, could you see me though?
Oh yeah. Now I do. Yeah. Hold on. Let me blow it up. How I blow it up? Yeah. Let's say exit minimize. Bam. There you go. Yeah.
Man, it took forever to download this app, bro.
Oh yeah. So it's an app thing. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Cause I got. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, I heard everything you just said. I was just laughing at Uncle Neil, man, with that Pluto line, man.
Yeah, man, nigga, please. How dare man? You bet. He can't ever say nothing against astrology ever in life. Ever in life.
Never in life, man. They ran him off Twitter for about 3 months behind that.
Yeah, man.
Behind them allegations, he had to go get his mind right real quick, man.
Yeah, go low.
All because he wanted to go find Pluto.
Pluto. Oh my dress, nigga. Like it's different if you were like, hey baby, let me see Neptune, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, nigga. But Pluto? Oh, nigga.
Oh, that nigga said Pluto, man.
Bodies. Yeah. Like, and you could have said a star. It didn't have to be a planet. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Why did you
according
pick
to his
that?
field of science, he say Pluto ain't a planet.
It ain't a planet.
So why would he?
You know the question we asked? What possessed you to pick that one?
Yes.
That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, it's pretty dope, man. I guess you can choose your little backgrounds on. I was trying to play around with this thing, man.
Yeah, they suck on the space though. They emailed me and was like, "Hey, you're out of space. We only got a gig," and that's one thing. Join Me got. We got so many recordings for years, and we ain't even talking about no space issue. So we got to figure out. Probably so. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna have to probably pay more for more space. It's already on a pro plan, maybe like $15 a month already. Mm-hmm. So probably go figure out what our Join Me thing is. Two things: what that price is, and then what do we get over here to give us the space. And then if we discontinue from over there, will we no longer have access to those recordings? Because in the initial conversations, people joining, some of those recordings are necessary. You know what I'm saying? So, You know what I mean? And that's something. And that billing stuff.
Might have to keep both.
Yeah, I know. They just have to just be here and keep both of them, bro. Which is dope, too, because then if we on at the same time, one can go to the other or whatever the case may be.
Can they see me on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. If you can see you on Zoom, let me go to it. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta share my screen. My bad. Man, it shouldn't be coming. So, wait a minute. I think you're about to come up now. Yeah. You coming? So I see you in the corner. But it's sharing my screen. So now what I do is I should be able to. I don't know. Why can't I make this super big? Yeah, I don't know what this one is, but that's big as it goes.
We gonna have to on the show, man. We gonna have to use this same joint, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So they can see you. Oh, they see you. Yeah, they see you when you talk, is what they said. So now I got it on screen share where they just see my screen and I see the screen as well. You know what I'm saying? What up, Andrea Gray? I ain't messing with Andrea Gray. Got my stove turning on and off by itself.
So whenever,
but yeah, when you talk on Zoom, it automatically goes to you, to the person that's talking.
Oh, so whoever's speaking, right? It switches over to the person's mic, whoever's talking. Right.
Yeah. But now I got it on screen share where we can just see you.
Oh, okay. Peace, everybody. What's good, man? How y'all doing out there?
Yeah.
How's everybody? Peace to the chat.
Yeah.
What you was building on, DeBeer?
Oh man, shit. Walking through, I got a folder of those predictions, man. You ain't see that part? Yeah. I walked them through the folder of those predictions. You know what I'm saying? Time and time again. You know, bam, here it is. You know what I mean? So.
I heard you touching on Trump, man. When you said he came through, he's absorbing all of that cosmic ray.
Yeah, man. This nigga has been a buffer. More than they know.
You can't say that out loud, man.
I know. Ain't that some crazy shit? Man. You know, the silent majority.
Yeah.
What up, man? Mate, I heard Dame Dash say that too the other day, Jew.
What'd he say?
He said something along the lines of, you know how he be on this boss talk shit, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines that, man, this nigga's out here that fuck with Trump, but they ain't gonna say nothing. Because the way, you know, the overall majority, this how the slaves react and shit. So it's boss talk. Only bosses and generals talk to bosses and generals.
Right.
That nigga said, man. I said, oh boy, that's the silent majority.
Well, you know, man, it's funny. Rick Ross said in the rap, man, he glad Trump became the president, right?
Yeah.
Because we got to destroy before we elevate. And so a lot of times, man, you look at a person, like I just be looking at all these movements and all the narratives that have come up over the years of being in these pockets of consciousness, man. You know, everybody's talking about what got to change. You know, we tired of going through this. We tired of going through that. In fact, man, I was in the barbershop. I was telling Ampu I was in the barbershop over the weekend. And, you know, it was a guy in there, and they started talking about, you know, the sovereignty movement and your paperwork and all of that. And, you know, it kind of got into a deep conversation. And one brother was like, well, if it's my money and my money is there, why I ain't got my hands on the money yet, right? And he said it must come down to we scared. We don't want to die, right? And you know, I'd be reluctant because them conversations jump off, man. I do a lot. Probably people don't know this, but I do a lot of listening when I'm in that type of environment to see what angle or, you know, the level of awareness that people having a conversation is, because sometimes you be saying some stuff and they just have no idea what the hell you talking about. But like, and I just commented to dude's comment, man. I said, man, you know, sir, you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, it boils down to how far are you willing to go for the change to occur? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've been screaming this for 4 or 5 years. Anytime these hot topics come up about, like when Jigga said, okay, we're done, we're past the kneeling phase. Yeah. And everybody was saying, oh man, you tripping. But the reality is, all of these things are gestures to prop us up emotionally, right? Or to give us a feel-good sense of identity. But at the end of the day, somebody still getting choked out 2 months later. Somebody still getting shot down 3 months later, right?
Right.
So all of these gestures, man, they are exactly what they are. They're gestures. They're symbolic references to what people would like to see. But at the end of the day, you really ain't got but maybe four real options, Jabir. Either you're gonna create your own system, right? And to do that is going to take a lot of vision and resources, right? And some potential suffering along the way because you're not getting the benefit of state assistance, federal assistance. Some things you're just not going to have access to if you declare that, look, you got to be like the early Americans, and I'm not necessarily speaking to natives. I'm talking about the early, you want to call them colonizers, independent boys. Look, they said, we tired of this shit. We out of here, Britain. We breaking. We ain't having this shit no more. And we finna go somewhere over here, way yonder, and we gonna establish our own shit. And if y'all wanna come fight us for this shit, strap up your boots. Wasn't no gestures. Wasn't no gestures. It was called muskets. Bullets.
Cannonballs.
Knives. Cannonballs. So we just gotta cut the shit and stop playing. And then the other thing is, if you're gonna go that route, the other route is what Ice Cube is attempting to do. Okay, how can we get inside of the game and put enough pressure, put enough public pressure on these people to say, hey, this ain't fair, man. We want our fair share. What are you gonna do for my vote? What are you gonna do for my support? Right? What are you going to do? And that's the other option, right? Or three, like I said, you're going to go to war and you're going to fight. And, when people start to look at that, quote unquote, logically, right? Because I don't want to even invoke the conversation of God. I don't even want to invoke that conversation. Right, because that's not the baseline or how people are really thinking about the issue or issues.
Right.
They ain't thinking like the priesthood. They're not going up on Stone Mountain and Grandfather Mountain. The average person does not really understand cause and effect.
Right.
So to speak that way, it's only for select people. Or to talk to people who have the influence where it can become a grander idea or picture for the masses to be able to participate in unknowingly, through wittingly putting it together. But man, the beer, like I know, man, either you're going to strap up your boots or you're going to play the game in the way that the game is played to try to make progress over a certain duration of time, man. Because the other option is, like, people are mad at Trump, right? Oh, Trump said this. Oh, Trump did that. Oh, he's a liar. Well, one, he's utilizing some shit, if y'all really knew. Because if you go back and you watch this dude, he usually gets what he wants. No matter how it happens, it unfolds in a way in which how he initially sought it out. It may take time, right? And I'm not here to be like a Trump defender or blowing the trumpets for Trump per se. I'm just making an observation without being swayed emotionally about the conversation. And so if everybody's been waiting on this fall of America since the time when Elijah Muhammad was talking about it, everybody's talking about, you know how many conscious circles? Oh, the banks are going to fail every September.
Yeah.
Right, Noble? The bank, every year it's something supposed to happen because the system has to crash, the system got to fall, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Then you get somebody who actually comes along who's a system disruptor.
Right.
He's a system disruptor that has spawned Black Lives Matter movement, whether people want to talk about the political aspects of it or the grassroots movement as far as what people are genuinely feeling in their heart about Black lives actually mattering, right? I'm not here to discuss, the political, who started it, I'm talking about the core values in which people are feeling in relationship to this subject matter, right? You got all of these things being shaped up and moved, platinum plans, contracts for Black America, right? All of these different things are being pushed into the forefront by somebody who's a disruptor in order to change the fabric and the way that America moves. Now, some people don't know the antagonist in the story is necessary.
Right.
The antagonist is necessary, people. Somebody has to come along to push the superhero to his or her limits.
Right.
Almost to the brink of failure in order for something to dramatically change or happen. So for everybody that's sitting back talking about how bad America has been for the last 100 years and stuff needs to change, you're watching and witnessing the person responsible to spark the agitation, as Ampu said, to facilitate some type of new paradigm, even if it comes at its own dethroning or beheading.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a certain amount of wisdom to be able to see that, man.
Yeah. King's disease all day.
All day, man. All day.
Yeah. Dreamwise, what up? What's good? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Where do we go, man? Where do we go from here, Minister Jew?
We go to I Respectfully Disagree podcast coming immediately, not now, but right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I respectfully disagree. Where we're going to fuse this type of dialogue with what it is that we've been talking about for 4 or 5 years on this quantum cosmic game. And we about to have a conversation piece that's like definitely necessary.
Right.
And what do we do? And what do we do? What do we do is we take accountability and responsibility for ourselves to change our personal condition first. That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. You got to change your personal situation first. Create stronger families, i.e. Family Wealth Club. Create stronger families. Create stronger mental bonds, i.e. Imagination Guru.
Right.
Marry these two things so that you can be a beacon of light and hope for other people who are watching your progress, who are watching your successes. Because people get curious when they see you winning.
Yeah.
People start to be responsive when they see you winning. See, as long as you ain't on shit and you a sucker and you losing, right? Then ain't nobody paying attention because you just wanted the rest of the game. But the moment you start to have an upward trajectory start flowing, then people take notice, right? And so, you know, I think, what's his name, DeBeer, Kushner, Trump's son-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
He made a comment about how black people have to want to be more successful than Trump wants them to be successful. And he received a lot of backlash for that, right? He received a lot of backlash for that, right? And so people are going to be on both sides of the aisle because, you know, you're going to get people saying, well, black people work hard, and they do. I'm not here to say black people don't work hard. I know some black people work their ass off. So it ain't never coming off in that vein, but I think the larger message is this. self-responsibility is how you make progress, right? What Jigga say? I can't help the poor if I'm one of them.
Right.
How?
Yeah.
How you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? So
right.
taking self-accountability, man.
Yeah. Beyonce said the best revenge is your paper.
Hey.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
Hot sauce in my bag swag.
Yeah. And if the universe has laws and it has order, and it does, 1 through 12 things, then we got to get busy on some economic shit. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. There is a big ass opening. Let's talk some business shit for a second, right? There's a big ass opening, and I ain't afraid to say it and share it. And whoever capitalizes on it, you have to be a beast to do it. And I believe there were 2 great things that happened in the time of humanity where it deals with business and culture, and we're now about to get the 3rd great thing that's waiting for someone to step in and see it and execute it. The first thing is the realm of private equity, okay? When you got to study finance to know this shit, man, but there's a movie and book called Barbarians at the Gate, and in a nutshell, salute to Henry Kravis, his brother, his cousin, George Roberts, KKR. This is $1 billion firm that I'm talking about. And they came up with this idea of investing in mom and pop operations. And usually before mom and pop's about to retire, and the criteria was as long as you don't sell to their competitor and whatnot. So to be able to go into a business, fix its weaknesses, expand its infrastructure, and whether you can keep them on as partner and you become majority partner or minority partner or buy them completely out, whatever the case may be, expand that business and take it to a whole nother level. So corporate had came down and started doing business with the small people, the small cats, right? So that was a major shift in finance, which in return gave birth to, it was called bootstrap acquisitions, known as LBOs, leveraged buyouts, okay? But that gave birth to Blackstone, which is pretty much the largest private equity firm. And I know that Illuminati shit is a primer because we used to hear about the Carlyle Group. Remember, if you look at the Carlyle Group, they own this, they own this, they own this, and Dick Cheney was part of the Carlyle Group. But the Carlyle Group is a private equity firm that deals with, okay, well, shit, Lockheed Martin, y'all make missile defense shit. I'm going to invest in that shit. Y'all ain't going to stop making missiles as a company. The government needs them. I'm going to invest in that. And so these private equity people are nothing but groups of individuals who raise their money mainly from pension funds and college endowments and insurance companies and whatnot, have to figure out a way to make money because the pension people got to pay people that's doing retirement. Where they getting the money from? They're looking for somebody to flip the money, i.e. Magic Johnson, which is now the avatar for us in this space of private equity. Magic Johnson went to the California public retirement system, known as CalPERS, right, and got money to go get a shopping mall. And it was like 60-70% occupied, made it 100% occupied, sold that shit, took $28 million and made it $40 million. And then he went up to Starbucks, and then he ended up buying like 110, 125 Starbucks chains. And you can't buy a Starbucks and whatnot, but, Magic did. His Starbucks outperformed their Starbucks, and then he sold them back for a profit. Magic is a beast and really is the formula in business on how you get in this space that I'm talking about. But anyway, salute to Blackstone and Steven Schwarzman, too, who's definitely, I consider my mentor from afar. A great book to read. And everybody in this space of creating a better soul, like Tony Robbins would say, don't give a fuck what you do. You need to read 30 minutes a day about something in finance, right? And a great autobiography or biography book to read will be What It Takes. I got it right here by Schwarzman. Excellent, because I love business. But the second thing that happened was, salute to Steve Stout, Stout saw that it was a gap missing between corporate America and cultural icons. So how do you get Chris Brown to pair with Wrigley Spearmint Gum? How do you get Jay-Z to bring you the HP computer that is in his hand, waist up, and you never see his face, but you know that's his voice? How do you get Reebok to sign off on the, you know, the S. Carters in the G Unit sneaker, right? So the second thing happened was there was a disconnect between corporate and the cultural icon. You see what I'm saying? So Stout came and he married those two. So now today you see Travis Scott with a McDonald's combo plan, right? Combo meal rather, and whatnot. So that's the second thing. Here's the third piece that absolutely needs to happen. We're just now getting into a place where entrepreneurship is being introduced. And what I mean by that, from the culture, Rick Ross will tell you, yeah, I got Wingstop, I got, you know, Checkers. But he's never really sitting down telling you, like, hey, this is what happened, man. I made 10 mil, I had that 10. It only took me about $300K to get one franchise. So I spent like they're not giving you the blueprint. They just tell you what they got in a sense, right? And I missed that show, the blueprint Noah had, man, with Complex. That shit was dope because it was talking about business and they don't do it no more. But anyway, and so what's happening is people like the Rihannas with Finney, people like E40, who constantly keep putting out these different liquors. Master P with the potato chips, Master P with the pancake mix, with the noodles, with all of the product. We're just now getting to a space as the culture is coming with product, but guess what? They ain't got no distribution. That's the connecting dot. There's another piece I'm gonna be absolutely quiet on because I'm playing in that space that goes with that. But the mainstream artists, like right now, listen, man, you can make some bread if you're really thinking about how you can move product from Master P and get them in these local stores and then even talk to the bigger stores and set up meetings, and then you become the regional vice president of your space and move that product. Because see, back in the day with music, what happened was they used to come through the cities with a rap van and they come with the product and it was the promotional vehicle, the street team. Well, technology disrupted music, but when it comes to physical product, ain't no technology gonna disrupt. I want a bottle of that E40 Mango Moscato. What technology gonna do for that? You know what I mean? It's not gonna replace that for me. I gotta have that. That's something that can be consumed. You see what I'm saying? So there are physical items where these people have no distribution. And so when I go to the liquor store here, I can't find Slurricane. I can't find the E40 tequila. We just now getting up on a Bumble Rum that Lil Wayne be promoting and whatnot. And if you ain't got the channel like Puff got it, like Ciroc is everywhere and shit, then here is a grand opportunity. It's like Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak is the one that goes to these cities and set up the accounts for Jay-Z and that Duce and the Ace of Spades. That's how he been getting his motherfucking bread. He got to move that product out that warehouse. And so even though he still fuck with music, he said, you know what? I'm going to create a music imprint called Warehouse Music where I just sign people and shit like Cass, right? And sign people on. But Bleak is really the one that's moving the physical products by being that person out in the street. So the distribution game is wide open again, just like it was in Prohibition. Alcohol is illegal and things like that, so now you got to push it, right? So you got tons of artists who got product, but they ain't got no goddamn distribution. You see what I'm saying? So it's a game wide open, man, wide open. Because see, this is the thing. Who is going to tell you, no, I'm not interested if you say, hey, I want to get you over here in this market. And if I get you an account with this market that you don't have, what percentage can I make for getting this customer for you? Who's going to say no? It's not going to cost you anything. I'm trying to help you expand for free. I'm not saying pay me first and then I'll go do the work and you see if it works. I'm going to get the goddamn account. You see what I'm saying? And this really spawns into a whole other sector of field where you have to figure out how to capitalize We got to figure out how to capitalize off of these particular things. Like, for example, I got a concept in my head. What would be a stream of businesses that you can package together right next to each other that will always be inside? Obviously, it's a brick and mortar that will be inside of, let's just say, all these empty storefronts on Chicago Avenue, right? But what can we put right here as a group of businesses that's going to make this motherfucker pop, right? Right? So we can say, well, shit, people like to drink liquor and they like to eat. Okay, shit, we want the liquor. All right, that seafood spot is popping. DJ Khaled got, let's do that. All right, so let's put that there. All right, now we in the age of Illinois just went full rec. Okay, well, shit, can we get a dispensary next to it? All right, so now we fucking with the chronic dispensary. Then people also starting to get healthy. Oh, people love health right now. All right, Styles P, you got the juice bar. Okay, cool. We know you just in New York, but we need that concept over here now. So now we got the juice bar that's there. So now we got the smoke, we got the seafood, we got the liquor, we got the good healthy shit, right? So what are a chain of businesses that we can absolutely put together and shit and string them together and say, all right, we're responsible for that. The same way Magic Johnson is doing. You see what I'm saying? And that's where the game is at, man. So when that happens, and I'm going to just tell you, like I tell you, because I already looked into it, called the attorney going to charge me $100K to do it. We're going to get it done. The name of the game is a fund that has to take place, a Reg A Tier 2 fund with the SEC, where you can do public fundraising, right? Raise money from the public and allow the consumer, who's the customer, who is really the core investor. Everything is this off our back when we spending money, right? But we never get no financial dividend in return because we just want the product or we want the service from the concert, just the experience, right? And rightfully so. But we got to make it a reciprocal relationship. That's the third final missing piece. The way that we create a fund, because you can't go on public and say, hey, put some money in my fund if you didn't register with the SEC. Now, you can have private conversations with friends and family and y'all can raise money, but you can't make public solicitations and go on a radio and say, hey, I have an offer, put money right here. That's illegal. You can't do that shit. So what has to happen is, like how Cardone Capital created a fund for real estate and whatnot, you can create a fund, and then you can go out and you raise the money, and then the people like us, we can say, all right, since we're technically non-accredited. Non-accredited means you don't have a net worth of $1 million, or you didn't make $200,000 for the last 2 years and on track to make $200K by yourself this year, $300 if you're a couple, okay? Not including the value of your personal residence. So let's just say, and I'm more concerned about the bottom, the unaccredited, the people that have these issues. So the way we start to break the cycle is you have a fund for the unaccredited that says, all right, cool, well, their minimum is $2,000, $5,000, whatever that minimum is. I'll put that in there, and now what's going to happen is the fund manager is going to go step to E40, Master P, whatever. This next venture that you're about to do, this fund is going to pay for that. And then we're going to set up the structure is going to be, let's just say, the typical structure of real estate is, let's just say the fund manager gets paid 3% at the closing of a deal. All right, so when the money raised, the deal closed, 3% of that, 1% management fee, because we got to deal with everything every year, so 1% management fee a year. And then when you sell the product or it moves, or whatever the case may be, you exit out, then you make it 30% of the profits and 70% kicked down to the investors. So that structure can be 50-50, 60-40, 80-20, whatever it needs to be, but majority of the profits kick back down to the actual unaccredited investors. So now when we go out and we spend money on, Mango Scotto or whatever and shit, you know what I'm saying? There's a dividend that I'm getting. Now, if we just do simple math and so shit, maybe just say, well, shit, I only put in $2,000 and the fund brings me 7% a year. You know what I'm saying? So that's only $140 that I'm making a year. That really ain't no money. That don't change my life. But I promise you, it does start to change your life. Really two things. One, $2,000 ain't no money. So that's the difference if I put up, you know what I mean? If I put up a meal, you know what I mean, and I get 7% of that, now I'm getting $70,000 a year. Oh, now that shit sounds good, bro. You see what I'm saying? So the problem is, like Grant Cardone would say, we got baby bitch money in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But if we can discipline ourselves, because the magic of time and consistent contribution and matching that. As long as you find a vehicle that can turn 7%, and y'all seen it in Family Wealth Club when we do these webinars about compound investing, if we can keep adding on is the key. The vehicle to get you to turn 7, 10%, that's easy now. We didn't identify that shit. That's the easy part. Now it's about the consistency of you putting every year, I'm adding on. The same amount I'm adding on, and then the vehicle itself keep on turning a certain percentage and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So now you start to build an investment portfolio that is now basically empowered by the cultural icons, but actually fueled by our particular finances as the customer/investor. We have to turn ourselves, the bottom, we have to turn ourselves from strictly being customers to investors. And those people like the E40s, because I'm always on his head every time he posting some shit, I'll be telling him this shit. This nigga came out with the Wall Street Journal. And I'm like, okay, nigga, well, shit, Wall Street Journal, we got to do that, bro. We got to create an unaccredited fund so people can put their money up and we finance the next venture, and then we start getting a fucking dividend off that shit. The person who does that in the industry, that's fucking game over. Game over. Game all the way over. You know what I'm saying? So we got to take that's just the next level of where it has to be. And because we're talking about, well, there's an issue of closing, like Ice Cube may have said, closing the racial wealth gap. But it's just not the black wealth gap. You got a lot of white poor people too. Just closing the poverty gap, period. You start to erase the financial poverty of people. That starts to get rid of stress. That's the number one cause of stress. Then certain DNA markers start to turn off and completely go dormant. Diabetes and shit, none of that shit will kick in based off stress. You didn't have it one year, the next year all of a sudden you got this shit, right? Because the silent marker was there. The potential for man to do anything is already in the DNA. Goddamn, we can grow wings out of our backs if we wanted to, in a sense, but it may take a period of time to get to them, sure. But these markers can actually be turned on and turned off. If we solve the stress issue, the poverty issue, by engaging in what I just said, close that loop, now we go into a whole nother plateau. You talking from a nigga that I know, but see, I've been playing with, I got some very dedicated, great people, but I'm talking about the general masses of where we've been at. It's been too small in the sense of well, this is what I mean. I bought a big ass building when, I don't know if Drew's still here. I bought a big ass building like in fucking 2017. Big ass historical mansion that used to be a nursing home. And I'm like, y'all help me with it and tell me what you want to do with it and we can all make it happen. Put your money up, I put my money. I spent the money, my own goddamn money, and bought a goddamn abandoned building like, okay, now let's go. And I'm thinking I'm going to get some type of outpour help. I got crickets. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I guess I got to build it and open it and say, okay, everybody come in and shit, right? Okay, wait for it. I'm selling it. Literally, for real, I'm selling it. It's literally for sale right now. I'm selling it because I'm going to take that and I'm going to go do some other things. And then I know the audience that I got to go after in the sense and whatnot, man. But anyway, man, I just wanted to share that piece, man. So I don't know if you're still here. Drew, you still here? I know you was out in the field and shit. But, I got an appointment for pest control people. Yeah, see, when you're a landlord, I don't care what they tell you, you get a management company. Listen, man, the management company still has to contact the owner before they just go spending money and making repairs. And so, you hear this myth in real estate about the management company and stuff. You still gonna get the phone call. You know what I mean? If something happens, because they just ain't going, unless you give them the okay, yeah, go spend my money any way you want to, and I'll reimburse you. You know what I mean? Like, that don't happen. So you still get it. The thing I like about property management is I'm just not the one that's responsible for finding and placing the tenant and dealing with them in the case of conflict. I don't got to deal with them either. You deal with that. You see what I'm saying? That's it. But any other thing, you're going to be dealing with it because the property manager is going to come back and ask you for permission. And the reason I said that is because I looked at the text message. I got pest control people coming out they want me to confirm the appointment, and that's something that I got to pay for. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a 3-month payment plan because when I bought a property, it had mice in it from the tenant. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to help you take care of that. All right, man. So, Ricky Skills, I work with you for the info for free. Now, new car, new crib, a bag of business, booming. That's you guys for the info. It don't work unless you work it. You hear that? Bam. Yep, Ricky Skills was doing some painting and stuff for Jew. You know what I'm saying? And you see it, man. All right. So we good? We straight? Let me check Zoom. We good? We goody? Ah, yeah, Jew out of here. Gone. So, all right, man. I'll see y'all. Y'all need me, man. Feel free. Hit me up. 267-403-4078. Yeah, he put me in the text. So I'll see you later. And, yeah, hit me up, man. Appreciate y'all. All right.